2,000 Reginans were forced to sleep in a shelter last year because they had nowhere else to go. Low vacancy rates and rising rents make it tough to find a place to call home. Tom Vernon takes a look at the changing face of homelessness.
Volunteers get their prep work done for another busy day at the Souls Harbor Soup Kitchen, which serves up to 200 people a day. Executive Director Michelle Porter's been on the front lines of homelessness in Regina for the past decade into seeing a troubling shift.
Boy, a lot has changed in Regina. The face of homelessness has changed. Over the last 10 years, we're seeing a lot more intact families who are out of their homes.
And it's most apparent during the holidays. At Christmas and Thanksgiving, Souls Harbor Rescue Mission serves hundreds of families a hot meal that they wouldn't otherwise have access to, trying their best to provide some sort of comfort.
You can imagine what that would be like for a kid. They go to school and suddenly they can't go to school, they're living at a shelter, they're scared.
And much of the problem can be traced to substandard housing.
There's not a lot of regulation around renting houses right now. And yeah, the issue is that there's some people, again, that have maybe a roof over their head, but it's a substandard roof and they're paying too much for it.
Sean Fraser at Carmichael Outreach led the charge against the landlord for those evicted from 2060 Halifax Street. Just one failed inspection forced everyone onto the street. And he says that type of situation has a domino effect.
Homelessness isn't just its own issue. All the issues that we deal with here, if it's domestic abuse, if it's drug addiction, if it's child hunger, if it's anything like this, they all come back to quality housing, quality homes.
And Porter says it won't be a charity that solves the problem. The solution needs to come from the entire community.
It's not a pretty picture, and a lot of us have a hard time looking at it. And so it's easy to ignore, and it's easy to walk by panhandlers or maybe someone stumbling down the street in need of some help.
And as easy as it is to walk by, the impacts of homelessness can be felt by all of us. Tom Vernon, Global News.
Meanwhile, 5 U of R students are still braving the elements in their 5 Nights for the Homeless campaign. They're living off food donated to them, sleeping outside. So far, they've raised more than $5,000.
We've had a lot of people just come up, share their stories with us, offer. A lot of people just say, do you need anything? Do you need a cup of coffee? Are you hungry? Are you getting enough food?
If you'd like to make a donation, you can go online to 5days.ca. The students will wrap up their campaign Friday afternoon.